A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. It is a threadbare Thursday. I'm Tank Spencer. Alongside me, Ronnie George, my Tampa Bay brethren. We're here. He's filling in for Jeremy Greene, who's on vacation for the next 2 days. Over the next hour, we, of course, will be talking all the football, as we've got a lot to celebrate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't really mean to rub it in all that much, but we're going to. Anyway, fire away with the topics you like to hear about here on the program today in the comment section. Follow it, like it, share it at the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. It is a Threadbare Thursday, but we got news in the NFL to talk about. Deshaun Watson, will he stay? Will he go? Now they have a coach now. Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough to convince him? I mean, that obviously was the goal here. We'll talk about the quarterback carousel. Ronnie is under the impression that Aaron Rodgers could possibly be moved, and we'll get into all of that. Plus, there's news out that a third of the league has reached out for Matt Stafford.
Way too much.
Is he that good? We'll get into it, and lots of other things. Our boy Scotty Miller, I love him to death, but I think he might have lost his mind. And are we seeing the demise of football? There was a Forbes article that was written about how participation, viewership, all of that has fallen from a peak of a few years ago. And if the trend continues, could it be the end of the sport? Of course, we all know that that's bullshit. Football's not going anywhere for most of us, but there's no doubt that some of the numbers are falling, and it leads all the so-called people to speculate whether or not football is going to go down. So, Ronnie, this is not your first time on the program.
No.
We've had you in before, and Ronnie's our former producer of the Sportsocracy. Of the you were number 2 in line.
Number 2. Yeah.
We've knocked off a couple of producers. It's hard to find good people these days. But Ronnie is back with us, and so what have you been doing in the meantime?
Glad to be back. Yeah, I've been working a whole lot. Been doing a lot of network marketing, a lot of trading, the stock market stuff, doing a lot of money investing, just family stuff.
Nice.
But staying with the sports and stuff.
All right.
But yeah, it's been good.
Yeah,
it's nice to be back. Yeah, absolutely.
The bartender / stockbroker / marketing advisor / you just do it all.
Yeah, as of right now, yeah.
Just trying to find your mark, make your mark in the world.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Baby on the way?
Baby number 2 on the way. So I was telling Tank earlier today, we find out the gender of baby number 2 the day after the Super Bowl. We'll get the phone call.
Okay, yep. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. But we have decided that if it is a boy, which I'm hoping for, and Tom Brady does win us a Super Bowl, it'll be Thomas Brady George.
Thomas Brady George.
Yep. Set in stone.
The winning name.
So 3 first names.
Yeah, it's a winner name. Yeah.
So 3 first names.
Yeah.
That'll be just great. We won't catch shit for that at all.
Look, I've already caught shit.
I'm on with you. I suggested that the better option for naming the child if we win a Super Bowl would probably be like Levante Shaquille.
That's only
George.
if my wife had had some fun with the mail lady. It's the only way it's gonna be Levante George.
The male lady.
I mean, she's wild.
I don't know.
She's wild.
I don't know if we know how that works. But that's okay.
Oh, Patrick Hush. You know it's a winning name.
Oh, I mean, I get it.
I mean, I haven't won a Super Bowl since I was 8 years old.
I get it. But that kid's going to catch a lot of hell for that, right?
I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't care. That kid's going to catch hell enough for me being the dad, so.
Hey, I'm in with it. By no means, I am a parent, and by no means am I comparing my dog to your child, but yeah, I've been trying to. We got a new puppy a couple of weeks ago, and my wife. I've been trying to force the name Brady on the dog, and my wife's not having it at all. She's not down. So at least you've got you've got a wife who's down with that. It
She's
would
100%
be receptive
down.
to that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if Tampa Bay wins, maybe you should, split it up. Not make it so obvious with Thomas Brady.
I mean, the second option's Michael Scott George, so.
Michael Scott.
So, I mean.
There you go. That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Michael Scott. I already know Michael Scott, and, I guess he's done fine with that. But
Yeah. Either way, he's going to have a name to live up to.
Either way.
Either way.
Either way. I feel like Michael Scott might be a threshold that he can meet better, but,
I'd prefer Tom
you
Brady.
should-
legacy
obviously,
to go
every
after.
parent wants their kid to be Tom Brady. But the chances of that happening are not very likely. All right. By the way, let's talk about this real quick while we've got the, Tampa Bay Buccaneers on our minds. I'm really pissed off that they're talking about not using the cannons at all during the Super Bowl. This to me is baffling. See, because my theory on it was use the cannons, but use it every time somebody scores.
Right.
For both teams. It's the coolest feature in that stadium. How could you not use it?
It is. I get the back and forth with it being a neutral zone. My thing is, if NFC is the home team anyway in the Super Bowl, why not just have the cannons go off just for the Bucs? Mm-hmm. It's a home field advantage. I don't know.
Yeah.
I get what they're trying to do.
I mean,
it's
earned
a Buccaneer thing,
right.
I think if the Bucs weren't in the Super Bowl, it would be a thing.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the argument is with the Tampa Bay and Bucs, is it too much of an advantage? Which I think is bullshit.
I do too. I think that's crazy. If they hear the cannons going off, is it going to give them a better boost after they score than it would the Kansas City Chiefs after they score? I'm completely fine with firing off the cannons every time somebody scores in this game, just because it's the coolest feature of the stadium.
It's the coolest feature in any stadium.
I mean,
it is the coolest feature in any stadium.
But to me, this would be like, so if we had the World Series on a neutral field, because it's never going to be hosted in Miami, but if we had it in Miami, and it's like they wouldn't use that little, the dolphin celebration thing, the firework thing.
Yeah.
Right. They would use it every time.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the same scenario. But you got to remember, when the NFL has a stadium for the Super Bowl, they have the stadium.
Yep.
Like the NFL owns the stadium for 2 weeks.
They take out the field.
Right.
And it's a brand new field.
Right.
It's all NFL. Yeah.
Right. They do all of the adjustments. They take care of everything. They handle all of the security and stuff. Now, obviously, the local people take a role in all of that. But the NFL gets to make all of the decisions on what happens during the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I feel like this would be a little bit of I don't know. It'd take a little bit away from the game not to be able to use one of the coolest features in an NFL stadium.
I agree. I think Roger Goodell is just at that point where he's just, this has never happened before. Home team going to the home stadium.
Right.
I think the controversy of is it too much, yada yada yada. I think he's just trying to keep it fair, because I think the biggest advantage in general to the Super Bowl is with the new COVID regulations. The team normally would be in Tampa right now practicing.
Right.
Kansas City can't come to like a day before or 2 days before to get acclimated to the weather and stuff. So we already have a huge advantage there. So I think Roger Goodell is just kind of being a little nitpicky there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Was it that the league said they couldn't come, or that the Kansas City Chiefs chose not to come?
No, the league said they can't come because of COVID. They don't want something with the traveling restrictions on COVID regulation.
Right.
But yeah, they have to come to Tampa like the day before or 2 days before, which is in my opinion, the biggest advantage any team has had for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would also think that the Kansas City Chiefs probably wouldn't want their guys hanging out with extra free time in Florida.
That's true.
Before the biggest game of the year. The temptation would be too much.
Yeah.
For them not to go hit the bars and the beaches and the what.
Yeah, with the restrictions.
Because they don't
much.
because they're not locked down in Florida anymore.
Yeah.
I was talking to my grandfather the other day who lives in Tampa, and he was telling me, our kids have been in school all year long. Like, oh my God, what a heaven that sounds like.
Yep.
You feel me, parents? You know what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah.
We got to find a way. We got to get these kids out of our houses.
Yeah.
We're going to lose our minds if our children could not go back to school. I need that 8 hours of peace every day. Anywho, the Houston Texans have hired a new coach. They have hired David Culley, who has been a coach in the NFL for 27 years. He's never been a coordinator, but this is an offensive guy who, it should really make the Texans fans feel really good that they went out and hired the passing game coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. That guy? I mean, I'm sure he's a fantastic coach, has a great relationship with his players, and, probably deserves this honor for his, hard work over all the years. But I kind of go back to the Josh Heupel hire at Tennessee. This is a guy who just went 6-4 in the AAC. He's going to be the new head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers. Okay. The new head coach of the Houston Texans is the passing game coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, who don't pass the ball. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the one knock that you can have, the biggest knock that you can have on the Baltimore Ravens is about their passing game.
Yeah.
But hey, we got David Culley. We brought in this guy, and now the goal is that maybe he'll be able to, convince Deshaun Watson to stick around.
Bye-bye.
I'm gonna say when you said fuck you to Deshaun Watson during the GM search, you burnt part of that bridge. And from what all I have understood about Deshaun Watson's wants was that he wanted Eric Bieniemy. You didn't go after him the first go-around, and you burned the rest of that bridge. Now he's to the point where I don't care who you hire, and Adam Schefter's reporting it, Mort's reporting it. It doesn't matter who you hire. Deshaun Watson is done with the Houston Texans.
He's going to the Jets.
And I don't blame. I think so too.
He'll be the Jets.
I think he may possibly end up going to the New York Jets.
Yeah,
which is gonna make Jeremy so insufferable.
I think Houston will get 2 first-round picks for him too. Which really you're only giving rid of 1 first-round pick. But yeah, I think Deshaun Watson will be the Jets.
I believe so.
I think that's written in stone. I don't even think that won't shock me at all. I think that'll be the least shocking move this offseason.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to give up a little more than Jeremy would like, though.
2 first. I think it'll just be 2 first. I don't think he's worth anything. That's a lot to give up for Deshaun Watson. I think.
I mean, I get it. I see the drawbacks of, you bring in the $40 million quarterback, you're going to have less to spend on the rest of the team, but I don't know. This day and age, if I think I've got a team that's competing, I'm giving them whatever they want.
I'm backing the truck up for Watson.
Give me Deshaun Watson. Let's go.
Yeah.
I don't care what it costs. Now, obviously, you're not going to go out and make some stupid argument or some stupid, like 5 first-round draft picks or something like that. But if they called and said we want 2 number ones for Deshaun Watson,
that's fair.
You want 3 number ones?
No.
No,
That's too
I would
much.
consider it. I
would do 2 first and maybe a 3rd, but 3 first rounds.
Mm-hmm. I think they're gonna want Sam Darnold back in a deal too, but maybe not.
I don't know. I just see 2 first round picks. I think that's enough.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And Stephen Tao's right. He says he doesn't call plays. The passing game coordinator is just a dumb title. It's all Greg Roman. Okay, that's fine. I mean, you got to think too. Culley is also an Andy Reid disciple.
Yeah.
He was the assistant head coach in Kansas City for 4 years ago, something like that.
Something like that.
I think it was 2016 to 2018. I don't remember what the numbers were. But, I mean, this is a guy who is highly regarded around the league. I thought it was hilarious. I heard them talking about this on ESPN Radio this morning that, they're hoping that his connection with Deshaun Watson during their Pro Bowl experiences together will be enough to get Deshaun Watson to stay. Because that's like the only connection that David Culley has to Deshaun Watson is that he was apparently a coach during the Pro Bowl while Deshaun Watson was in the Pro Bowl.
Wow.
Okay. I mean,
Great.
Maybe it's a special relationship that we have no idea about. But for the most part, I'm gonna go with Adam Schefter. I'm gonna go with Morton.
There's no chance of him staying.
Right.
I would put a lot of money on him leaving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you told me I had to bet $100,000 right now, bet my house on it, he's gone.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't feel scared about it.
Yeah. And you think the Jets is the best place for him to wind up?
I would put that money on him going to the Jets, yeah.
On him going to the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, at this point, I think everybody needs to have an open eye about Deshaun Watson. A guy like this doesn't come available very often.
I mean, if
or
not
ever.
the Jets, 49ers, or Patriots.
He's a 25-year-old quarterback that most of us believe is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
100%. I mean, his stats this year are otherworldly, and who's he had?
And his
to
team
throw to?
sucked.
It's awful.
And his team was god-awful. Will Fuller and Kiki QT and Brandon Cooks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how... I don't see how we're not hearing more about who's interested in this, because there was
a
a
third
report,
of the league going to Matt Stafford.
Right, there's a report out there that a third of the NFL has reached out to the Detroit Lions about Matt Stafford's availability. Now, we already know that there are going to be a bunch of moves made in the quarterback realm this year. I mean, Adam Schefter said that he would take the over on a line of 18 quarterback changes in the NFL this coming year.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. That's turnover like we've never seen before in this league. The question that I have, though, is I'm almost on the Mike Florio side of why are more teams not reaching out to Deshaun Watson? If the number's 18, then I'm surprised that only 10 teams have reached out to to the Lions about Matt Stafford.
Well, I think more people have reached out to Matt Stafford because he's so much cheaper than Deshaun Watson. I think you can get Matt Stafford for like a third or something cheap. Deshaun Watson's so much more expensive because the talent's so much there.
I think it's about half.
And Watson has no trade clause.
Right, Watson gets to pick where he goes.
Yeah.
Watson's going to be able to just pick and choose where he wants to end up. Yeah. But I wouldn't be shocked if we heard that at least 15 or 16 teams had at least made the phone call and said, "Hey, is Deshaun at least a little bit interested in coming to our town?"
I think it'd be hilarious if Indianapolis picks up Matt Stafford. That would be hilarious because they're the exact same person. This year, the stats, if you look up the stats to Matt Stafford and Phillip Rivers side by side, they're the exact same person. Yards, 4,100. Pass completions to passing attempt, nearly identical. Percentage, 68 to 64%. Touchdown interception ratio, Phillip Rivers 24-11, Matt Stafford 26-10. They're the same person. So if Indy gets Matt Stafford, they're the same team.
Right.
And I think that's a potential landing spot for Matt Stafford. I think that'd just be funny.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm not big on Matt Stafford. He's talented. His ceilings, I don't think he's a winner. I think he's a talented quarterback. I don't think he's a winner. Same with Phillip Rivers. Great talent, not a winner. Same with the Hall of Fame argument. Like, is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Fame quarterback?
Yes.
See, I disagree because I was telling Tank earlier this. When I think of a Hall of Fame inductee, I think of if you tell the NFL story, can you tell the story without that person? Eli Manning. Is Phillip Rivers more talented than Eli Manning? 100%. Can you tell the NFL story without Eli Manning?
No.
Absolutely not. Can you tell the NFL story without Phillip Rivers?
Probably.
I think you can.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I base So I don't know. I don't think Matt Stafford's a winner. I'm not a big fan of everyone looking at him.
And it's funny because the only thing that I was thinking, the most, in telling the story of the NFL, how big of a part is the Phillip Rivers Eli Manning trade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But think about it from the Phillip Rivers perspective. That would be the only moment.
Yeah.
Either that or his, 3 years with 12 wins under Norv Turner when they had LaDainian Tomlinson.
Mm.
But that's more of a LaDainian Tomlinson story than it is a Phillip Rivers story. Phillip Rivers I believe he is a great quarterback.
Oh, no
and
doubt.
has been an all-time great in this league.
I agree.
But if you go by that measure, I don't know that you're wrong.
Right.
I don't know that I can,
No, that's a great point.
You can hit
Yeah.
all the high points in the NFL's history and not mention Phillip Rivers' name.
Right, and I think the Hall of Fame is, I don't know, I just picture people so elite in that level I would not consider Matt Stafford a Hall of Fame inductee. I think he's good. I don't know. I don't.
I think
the only thing with Rivers is top 5 in like every category.
Right.
He's top 5 in yards, touchdowns. You know.
I mean, Detroit.
Jameis Winston put up crazy stats too his first couple years.
Right.
Is he a Hall of Fame inductee?
No.
No.
Not at all.
So.
But you know, I also take that to the franchise level. Can you tell the story of an NFL franchise without that guy?
That's fair. That's fair. You can.
And you can't. You
That's
can't
fair.
tell the Detroit Lions story without Matt Stafford. You can't tell the Chargers story without Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, that's fair.
So if they were important to that team, while not having an overall impact on the league story as a whole,
that's more of like a ring of honor, though.
Yeah,
that's more of a ring of honor
and there's no doubt that these guys will obviously be ring of honor type guys and have their jerseys retired and all of that stuff. But I don't know. I'm more loose with my Hall of Fame inductions than most people.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more tight, probably. More straight than that.
I'm not, and see, that's what I hate about baseball. That's what I hate about the Baseball Hall of Fame is that it's so exclusive. And you can't get in, and it's such a hard fight. I think there's a happy medium in between, and probably the NFL's got the best solution for that.
Yeah.
If only we could have the same kind of voters in the NFL or in Major League Baseball that we do in the NFL. I don't think we would have that much of a story.
Right.
Yeah, no, you can't tell the Eli story without Rivers.
No.
Because what would Eli have been had he just, sucked it up and went and played for the LA Chargers?
Or vice versa.
Would they have ever won 2 Super Bowls with Phillip Rivers as the quarterback in New York?
True. I think they would have.
Right.
Yeah, so.
You would think, because to me, most of that was luck.
Yeah.
Well, most of that was the defense.
Right,
Yeah.
but
that's what I'm saying.
but Eli's big moments,
Right.
I mean, that was lucky as hell.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I get that the pass to Mario Manningham in that one Super Bowl was incredible, but the only person that could have caught that at the moment was Mario Manningham.
Yeah.
Like, it just, for some reason, it just aligned that way. I look at the same thing with, Santonio Holmes. When he caught the big touchdown from Ben Roethlisberger in the Super Bowl. Like, that was just a once-in-a-lifetime kind of a lucky-ass play that's never happened again. David Tyree. That's never happened to anybody.
Yeah.
There haven't been guys who have done that in flag football games.
Yeah.
So, 2 great, real lucky moments helped him get those Super Bowls.
That's true.
And other than that, his entire career, when his defense didn't carry him to Super Bowls, he was really mediocre.
Yeah.
Really mediocre. And so that's why I always am off of the Eli Manning is a for sure first ballot Hall of Famer talk. Most of that comes from his name.
He gets that because he beat Tom Brady twice.
Yeah,
That's
he beat
why
Tom Brady twice.
And
His
he
last
won
name
2
is
Super
Manning.
Bowls. You can't take that away from him. He won 2 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's tough not to put him in there.
The Super Bowl MVPs that should have gone
There's
to
just
the
so
wide
many.
receivers.
There's so many other quarterbacks that are better than Eli Manning.
Oh yeah.
That
Other
won't
than those
get
2
into that
years,
discussion
he's a
because of
garbage
that. That
Mm-hmm.
won't get into the discussion.
Like, the stats prove itself. Other than 2 Super Bowl years, he is a below average at best quarterback. And
Yep.
I'm a Giants fan.
Yep, he is a below average quarterback other than the Super
And
Bowl
that's
years.
why I
Absolutely.
think that legacy of what the story tells considers you into the Hall of Fame.
Rivers is a product of the offense in San Diego, says Chris Edenfield. They had to score points because they could not build a defense that could hold opponents to minimal scoring. It's a fair point. That's an absolute fair point. Yes, and Jason Witten will sign a 1-day contract to retire as a Dallas Cowboy.
You know what he should
in
do?
March.
He should be a sports talk person and then go back into football. A year later. Oh, did he already do that?
He already did that once.
Okay, never mind.
He already did that once. I don't think he's going to come out and try to do that one again.
Okay. Ooh, deja vu.
Oh, nice. Steven Tao says that's why they got Daniel Jones. He's Eli 2.0.
Oh, God.
I've been
it's just
saying
a
that.
shot to the
Yeah.
heart.
Bingo.
He's more mobile than Eli Manning was.
He is
but
very
he's
much
the
more-
same person. He
Yes.
even looks like Eli Manning. He looks like baby Eli.
I've never really looked at it that far, but
I can't stand Daniel Jones.
Yeah, no. Jason Witten, that's a really cool story. He announced yesterday that he's going to be retiring. He's done. I mean, that's first ballot Hall of Famer to me, written all over it. I don't think there's any question about that. I still will never forget.
We talked about it 2 years ago when he retired.
Right. Yeah. I don't remember. I don't remember what game it was. I think it was against the Eagles, maybe. That he got his helmet ripped off and still ran 40 yards down.
He's a monster. Witten's a monster.
He will always. I think that helmet probably actually lives at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Already. If not, if it doesn't, it absolutely should. But yeah, I mean, Matt Stafford is a useful tool. He is 32 years old. He's still got life left in that arm. And I honestly think he can be a winner in this league. He's just been saddled with the Detroit Lions, who have been awful.
Yeah.
You know, when they've been able to put a good team around him or a decent team around him, you know, he's made a couple of playoff appearances, but never gone any farther because he's been in Detroit. He hasn't been surrounded by a lot of talent.
Where would you put him? Where would you think that Matt Stafford would be most successful in right now?
I really like New Orleans for him. But there's no way they could make that work because they don't have any money.
Their cap space is
right. I mean, they're $100 million over the cap just about for next year, and there's no way that they can restructure and save money. So I don't see that happening. That would be a good spot for him. I think he could damn near be successful anywhere he goes. I think he'll slot right in fine in Indianapolis.
I think
for
that's
Phillip Rivers.
Because he's the same person. I think that's where he should go.
Yeah. I mean, they've still got good wide receivers.
They did well. They went to the playoffs.
Yeah, they were already in the playoffs. Here's the problem, though, for the Indianapolis Colts. Do you honestly believe that Matt Stafford could take you farther?
I don't think anyone else
Rivers
can, though. I think the only other option you have, I don't think they're in the run for Deshaun Watson. I don't think any other quarterback's going to be better than Matt Stafford in that offense. I think the best you can do is draft a quarterback. Why not get Matt Stafford, draft a quarterback, let him sit behind Matt Stafford, and run with what you got now?
Right.
Because you're going to be rebuilding anyway. With what you have, I would get Matt Stafford, draft a quarterback, maybe in the third or fourth round, sit behind Stafford, go for another run, get 2-3 years out of Stafford.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. I like that plan. To me, he is an immediate upgrade for a lot of teams in the league. I mean, hell, already 10 teams have reached out about Matt Stafford, and there could be more.
Yeah.
I believe that. Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk had an article saying that the Detroit Lions released that statement about a third of the teams in the league have reached out about Matt Stafford because they expected more to reach out. And so they're trying to drum up interest, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't think I buy that. I mean, you got 10 teams. You got a third of the league interested in Matt Stafford. I think that's probably about right.
That's a crazy number.
I mean, you would have, I'm trying to think, like who the teams would be that would reach out for Matt Stafford. I think Pittsburgh would be a great one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Washington.
Ben Roethlisberger's probably going to leave. The Washington football team is the one that keeps sticking out to me.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly do believe that the Washington football team might be the team that could benefit most from having Matt Stafford as their quarterback next year. I mean, they were in the worst division of football this year, ended up winning the division and making it into the playoffs. And they were close. They were real close with Tampa. That was a nail biter.
I didn't like it.
I had my old anus puckered quite a while in that ball game.
That was the closest game we had in the playoffs, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Heineke.
And Taylor Heineke came in and made that offense move. You put Matt Stafford back there with the young weapons that they have and the incredible young defense that they have, and
that defense is something else.
Right. And you're looking, this will be a better team that he's played on probably ever. I'm going back to, remember when Nick Fairley and Ndamukong Suh were on the front line for the Detroit Lions, and Reggie Bush was the quarterback or the running back. Mm-hmm. Calvin Johnson was out there, like that was a team that probably should have gone farther.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it was still Detroit, and Detroit finds ways to lose. But I mean, hell, you can probably get a playoff win out of that.
Yeah.
And because I don't see them getting a playoff win in the AFC.
Yeah.
If you add him to the Indianapolis Colts, I don't know that team goes any farther than they
They're
did.
the same team. Yeah.
I think so. The Washington football team is a very interesting one to me, and I'll kind of be surprised if he doesn't end up there.
Ron Rivera already slid into
Jeremy's
Cam
made it to
Newton's
the comments
DMs.
section.
Uh-oh, Jeremy's awake.
He's made it to the comment section.
The beast is awake.
Kevin Vick. If Cam Newton, you'd be better off with Heineke than Cam Newton.
Yeah.
God, I can't stand Cam Newton. Cam Newton should just go work at J.C. Penney as like a stylist.
Ron Rivera has already slid into Cam's DMs. If he does that, I will lose so much more respect for him as a coach. Like, you've done this before, right? I mean, I get you went to a Super Bowl in 2015, but there's nothing left in that tank.
No.
Cam Newton's got nothing left.
Cam Newton's going to be traded to the...
Stop giving me, he didn't have any weapons this year with New England. I mean, that may be true, because New England's weapons are horrible. But do you really want to put Cam Newton out there with great weapons and win 9 games? Because that's about his ceiling right now.
Cam Newton will be traded to the Dallas Cowboys as the starting cheerleader. Calling it now.
Starting cheerleader.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Revolutionize the game.
Right. Brandon Fish says, put Stafford on any winner, and it's my new favorite team. It has been a rough life, stuck as a Detroit Lions fan. I will be right there with you, bud. One of my former co-hosts on the radio show was a diehard Detroit Lions fan, and it was so hard to watch him every year have the hope and the dreams of something going positive for them, and then just see those dreams get crushed every year.
Sounds like a Tampa fan.
Wait. It sounds like Jeremy, actually.
Jet.
See, I figured out a way to feel better about my fandom is to either connect with beautiful people like Ronnie, who understand, or hook up with guys who have teams that are way worse than ours. So I feel pretty good about that.
At least we know how to tank.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
That's true.
That is true. So, are there any other quarterback changes you think are coming?
I don't see Derek Carr staying. That's one that
You think the Raiders are done with Carr?
I would be.
I would be.
I'm not a fan of Derek Carr. I don't see him being any better than he is right now. I don't know. I'm not a Derek Carr fan. I don't get the hype.
But I thought like he played better this year.
It's okay.
I mean,
Derek
obviously.
Carr.
But see, here's the thing: is do you want to give up on a guy who might keep you relevant to take a chance? See, this is the thing I've been getting into with Jeremy over the last few weeks. Is I'm more of a guy who wants to. I want to keep a guy who's going to be keeping me relevant, who's going to be a serviceable quarterback, be able to put some weapons around him. Now that's when money comes into play. Then I would going out and fishing every other year for a quarterback. Yeah. I just feel like you get mired in this thing. I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been doing it since 1976. Mm-hmm. Just year in, year out, making horrible decisions, trying to chase guys who will come to your team. I mean, I can't even remember how the fuck we ended up with Jeff Garcia. Who does that?
My favorite stat for Derek Carr is Derek Carr has 55 losses. He's got the second most ever for a quarterback in the first 6 seasons, behind only his brother, David Carr. That's my favorite stat.
Awesome.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm. That's a good one. I don't know. I just this whole chasing a quarterback every year in the draft. I look at the Cleveland Browns and the Miami Dolphins, and these are just teams that they found one, they had one forever, and then ever since they've been chasing one. And I don't want to be those guys. I would much rather have a quarterback stick around, try to build something around him, that I know is going to be good, rather than trying to chase down and end up with Josh McCown
Ugh.
or Cade McNown
Yeah.
or any of the other McCowns, whoever they are. I still find it funny that Josh McCown was one of the guys that they interviewed for the Houston Texans job.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you've been our
I was
backup
surprised he
quarterback.
didn't
Well,
go
why don't
to
you
the-
just jump right from backup quarterback to head coach?
Yeah, Eagles starting quarterback.
God, could you imagine? Could you imagine the firestorm that would have happened if that had been the hire after the Caserio thing, and now they go and hire Josh McCown?
Josh McCown.
I'm really hoping that we can put to rest all the Eric Bieniemy stuff, though.
oh, well,
Are we done with that now?
Yeah.
With the hiring of David Culley.
The coaches are all hired.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But it still continues. Like, Eric Bieniemy's not getting his shot. Okay, well, what's your excuse now?
Yeah. He's in the Super Bowl. He can't be hired.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the excuse now? David Culley is now the head coach of the Houston Texans, and he might end up with Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford.
You still think that's too many?
I do. I
Too
don't
many
know.
teams reaching out for him.
I do. It's just a lot of teams for Matt Stafford. I don't know.
It is.
I'm not
It
as
is.
bullish on Matt Stafford as everyone else is, I guess. I'm not.
But I mean, you have to admit he's a guy that is.
He's a guy.
He is a guy.
He's a dude.
He is a guy. But I mean, this is a guy who's generally a top 10, top 12 quarterback in the league, stats wise at least. And to me, stats matter. It shows me that he's been a really serviceable quarterback with a horrid team for years.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, I don't know why most teams, other than just age and we've got a better plan, or a better draft pick to pick somebody up, I could see how you could weed out 8 teams in that scenario to go after Matt Stafford.
I just think when you're hiring a quarterback, that quarterback needs to either make your team better or change the culture in your team. And I don't see Matt Stafford doing either of those things for a lot of teams. I think I see him
Well, I mean, he's not
fitting into a role. I see him going somewhere, but I don't see him making any team exponentially better, and I don't see him changing a culture in any team. So that's why I'm not big on Matt Stafford going anywhere.
Right.
And if Tom Brady retired tomorrow and Tampa Bay had the option of signing him, I would say, no, thank you.
he wouldn't be your
I would
next in the
rather draft a
retirement plan.
quarterback. Mm-mm.
I have long had the theory that this is now what we do. I'm all in on the Tampa Bay retirement plan. We take Tom Brady for 2 years, let him end out his career. The state of Florida does this with they take all the retirees and let their careers die. So we'll take Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers is coming available after next year. You think he's leaving now?
No, okay. I think he's got maybe 1 year left in Green Bay, but I think when he goes, he's going to 49ers. I really do think he's going to San Francisco. And
I think they're in a make a move now mode. I don't think
it's
they're
too
waiting.
much dead cap. It'd be so dumb. I don't know.
No, I'm talking about San Francisco.
Oh,
San Francisco
make a move.
I think
now?
San Francisco's going to make a move now for a quarterback.
Yeah. I think.
Because I still can't get around Jimmy Garoppolo being back in New England. Somehow.
I see that happening.
Yeah, Bill Belichick got such a hard on for that guy.
Exactly.
It's not the-
I mean, he was talking years ago about not re-signing Tom Brady and keeping Jimmy Garoppolo
Jimmy
to start
G.
the future. Looking back on it, maybe that's what he should have done. But I mean, he didn't win another Super Bowl with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
After that, but anyway, I see that happening, and I don't know that. Yeah, I agree with Stephen Tao. He's not going to the 49ers.
49ers are one piece away from being a Super Bowl contending team. I think Deshaun Watson goes in 49ers. Bye-bye. They're going to kill some teams. I love the 49ers with a good quarterback. They're I think they have all the pieces that they have except the quarterback.
Absolutely.
If they can stay healthy.
Well, yeah, this year was a dumpster fire for injuries. But
Well, it's been a bad 2 years for them as far as injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously this year was way worse, losing so many pieces on
Yeah.
the defense and the offense. They didn't have a fucking healthy running back there for a long time. I can see a lot of guys going there and being successful, but I think that goes a lot.
If
to
Aaron
the
Rodgers
coaching
went
as
to
well.
49ers this year by some way, if Matt LaFleur was just like, I can't stand you, Aaron Rodgers, goodbye, take the hit, 49ers will go to the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, I agree.
If the moment Aaron Rodgers signs with the 49ers, I'll take my money, Vegas, because they're going to be good. And Rodgers ain't done.
No, hell no. He's far from done.
No.
I'm expecting him to be out of San Francisco. I mean, obviously, dream scenario would be for me to replace Tom Brady with Aaron Rodgers, but
Yeah.
if that's how it works, I will gladly take it.
Do you watch Pat McAfee's Tuesday interviews with Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
I love those things.
Yeah.
He is so.
Now-
I've fallen in love with Aaron Rodgers. Those interviews.
Now, I have to ask you this question, because I said this the other day, and Jeremy looked at me like I was crazy. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is smoking weed?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
100%.
I wanted to make sure I'm not the only one who thinks that.
Well, if you follow him on like Instagram, he's such a little hippie. Was he out and does he live in Colorado? I don't even think. Yeah, he lives in Colorado. He goes to like all these little hippie festivals. Wife does hula hooping and all this. He's especially now that they're not testing for marijuana.
Yeah.
He dabbing in some weed. He a little hippie. The way he talks, man,
Yeah.
football's real cool, and I like to stay mellow. And
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
It's just that you know that some of the
Beautiful
some of the
Yeah.
phrases that he uses, like, my life's just a beautiful mystery. Wherever it takes me, I'm gonna go there.
It's all about the mental change. You just have to get in there and just a refocus.
Right. I mean, I feel like he is RELAXed all the time.
100%.
all the time.
Man, I like to relax with like 4 fingers of whiskey, 4 fingers of some nice scotch. It's all about the mindset.
And just a thimble full of weed. Yeah, he's a fish head.
Yeah.
He is a fish head, Patrick Holt says. So that look, it's obvious to me.
No.
And now that they're
I'm not mad about it, but
Yeah.
no, fish is awful. Stop it. Stop it. That's worse than your New York Giants are going to make the playoff stuff.
Hey,
Fish is a horrible
I
band.
had the whole.
Horrible. They don't even play the same song.
No.
There's 12 guys on stage, none of them playing the same song.
4.
Whatever. I don't care. I don't care how many guys are out there. It sounds like 12 because they're all playing different songs. How many guitars do you have? That's the bounce around the room guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, play bounce around the room and then leave.
they don't even,
Go on. And we don't want to hear the extended jam version.
No.
Fuck off the stage.
45-minute.
they don't write music. They just go up there and play.
That's all we can do. Look, I don't feel like football's dying, but apparently there's some evidence out there that points to football as a whole dying. Forbes article, I'm trying to pull it up here, the computer's being a biatch, by Roger Pilkey, I think is how you say his name. The decline of football is real and it's accelerating. Now, since my computer sucks, I'm going to need you to give us some of the ins and outs of how this thing works. Is basically the overall gist is numbers are down from youth participation in football, viewership on television, attendance at college football games. What's the other one I'm missing?
A bunch of stuff. NBA's down like ratings. NHL's down ratings.
Right.
High school participation.
Yeah.
It's down. College game attendance. NFL's Super Bowl viewers.
Right. So the theory here is that since football hit its peak back in like the 2008-2009 area, the numbers have been falling. Here we go. Youth participation in football since its peak of 2008 has fallen about 33%. High school participation peaked at 2009 and is down about 8 to 9%. College game attendance peaked in 2013, down 5%. NFL Super Bowl viewers peaked in 2011 and are down almost 25% in total number of views for the Super Bowl. Now, I get it. The ratings thing, I still think there is a lot at play in all of the cord cutting and all of that. I'm not denying that the NFL has lost viewers because of the social justice stuff. I understand it, but I don't care about those people. Honestly, I don't. We're glad you're gone. Go away. This sport will carry on without you. I don't let things like that come into my entertainment world, and I don't give a damn.
My favorite image, I wish I could show you guys, but it's a picture of the increase and decrease of both high school participation in sports and viewership of major sports. Side by side, you can see the Democratic and Republican states, and
all right, here we go.
All blue states are for some reason down watching all these major sports or participation. So I think it's becoming a political thing. It's becoming a new generational thing.
Wait. Now, this is interesting. So you're saying it's going...
I think it's tied together.
It's going down in the Democratic-controlled states
Yeah.
and up in the red states?
I'm just saying there seems to be a coincidence where I'm looking at this picture and the increase per decrease per state of people that are watching football and the Democratic Republican states. I'm just saying there's a correlation there.
Okay, so and see that I think that's weird because I would have assumed with all of the social justice stuff if that's going to be a legitimate reason that we all say yes that we have lost viewers over that. I would imagine that the red states would be dropping and the blue states would be going up.
I think that's what he said.
No, that's not what I said.
It's going down in the blue states,
Yeah.
up in the red states.
So it's just an interesting thing.
That's super interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it is. I understand why youth participation is down.
100%.
As a parent myself, I am scared to death of head injuries. I have seen I've read the book. I've seen all the movies and documentaries and the reports on cutting dudes' brains open and seeing the damage that is done.
I think it's a generational thing that it's coming to the point where sports just is not as important to these new generation of kids.
No, it's not. I mean, because here's the thing is, back in the day, everybody would play just because your friends were playing. And now kids are, you're drawn to it because the kids in your class are playing or the kids in your neighborhood are playing or whatever. If you don't know an athlete, you don't have to do that anymore. Kids are so separated these days.
Well, Mommy Karen don't want their baby boy to be called a mean word in the practice field.
Yeah.
Oh no, he said something mean.
Yeah.
I mean, we are an entire society that is getting away from competition.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's sad. I know Jeremy always calls me participation trophy guy, and just because I'm all about letting great players into the Hall of Fame doesn't mean I want to give everybody a trophy. I mean, I was brought up by a football coach who at 8 years old told me, "You don't win it all, you don't get anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. You go home empty-handed unless you win the championship."
For sure.
I was brought up by another coach who would crack your skull if you fucked up on the offensive line.
Yeah.
I saw him one time grab a kid by the face mask and crack his helmet in two.
Hot.
I was brought up by some tough-nosed guys. So I understand that, but society's not that way. I was having this discussion with my son last night. He was actually talking about playing football. And I said, dude, if you want to play football, I will sign you up for football. You show me that you're interested. You show me that you're going to work at it. And we're not just going to be throwing money away. I'll be glad to sign you up. Mm-hmm. And we'll, I'm not going to pressure my kids into anything.
Right.
And I think that has a lot to do with it, too.
Yeah.
There are a lot more parents who are, we'll just let him do whatever he wants, to his detriment or not. Kids are fatter. They're staying at home. They're on their tablets and their laptops and way more interested in YouTube than they are about going outside and playing with their friends.
Let's share the championship with everyone so we get a fair cut of the championship.
Exactly. Now, there's nothing wrong with youth sports. Youth sports has, a great ability to build good young men. I firmly believe that. But you also have a whole lot more stuff going on today than you ever did.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more shit that kids are interested in now. And there's more parents who are just like, fuck it, just let them do it.
Yep.
We're not going to force them to do anything that we don't really believe that they want to do.
But do you think
And
NFL
then-
will ever get back to the prime like 10 years ago of viewership and popularity? Because I don't think so.
doubt it.
I think this is like we hit the pinnacle. This is a big year for the Super Bowl. NFL's not going anywhere ever. I'm not saying
No.
that. But I think the golden age of NFL's gone.
I think so too. I mean,
Unfortunately.
there are just too many other things out there for people to bide their time. You know, I'm seeing, you know, whether they're lying or not, I see people all the time getting into these discussions online about, you know, oh, I cut off the NFL years ago and I haven't gone back.
Bullshit.
I don't know. I don't know if it's bullshit or not.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And you know what?
But
That's
it's-
fine. If you
yeah.
want to be that way, then whatever. Do what you want to do.
Have you seen?
But there are still, what was it? 44 million viewers
Yeah.
on the NFC Championship game
Yeah.
this past weekend.
Viewers are going to come regardless. It's becoming so political though. Like Coca-Cola and Budweiser have dropped out of advertising for the Super Bowl for political reasons.
Nah, it's not political reasons.
That's partially.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, they're donating.
I mean, they're
saying
donating
some of the
time
money
for
they're donating to
PSAs.
charity or something.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, they're donating that. What they're doing is they're not spending so much on advertising, and then they're taking a portion of their money to donate it to, like education efforts for the vaccine. They're going to be airing PSAs and shit.
So it's still a PR move.
Of course it is. I mean, to me, hello, that's a $5.5 million tax write-off.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be given that money, if I'm still getting time on air to donate it to the CDC or whoever, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever groups are pushing this shit. That's a tax write-off. That's a donation
Yep.
to a nonprofit and a
Smart.
medical emergency. You get we're in a worldwide pandemic, and here Budweiser's going to catch some headlines for cutting out their Clydesdales commercial. They're not really sacrificing anything. They still got 4 other brands that they're going to be pushing during the Super Bowl.
Yep.
They're doing the Mick Ultra and the Mick Ultra organic seltzer shit, Bud Light, and there was another one that they're going to be. I guess it's Bud Light Seltzer will be the other one. They're still going to have commercials for those, but this is a PR move.
Yeah.
They're just trying to catch some good headlines and look, we're giving America what it needs right now. We're educating them about the vaccine.
We're awesome.
Okay. If you think that that's a great, it's a great move PR-wise for them to do that. I don't think that's political reasons. Now people try to spin it into, oh look, see, the NFL's losing all these viewers, then all these advertisers are pulling out. And that's not what's happening here. That's not at all what's happening here. Not denying that there are some people who are not spending their money on the NFL anymore because they're upset with how the league works, or there's not enough black coaches, or there's still guys kneeling for the national anthem, or whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own thing. Oh, there's just a whole league full of criminals.
They don't want.
How many times have you heard that? Every day there's a guy getting pulled over for a DUI or beating up his girlfriend or whatever.
Did you see?
People have problems with the NFL, and everybody gets to make their own choice. I don't think it's going back up. It may never go back up to the peak of what it was, but this is still a, $5 billion business?
Yeah, like the decrease
teams
will.
are still gonna make crazy money.
Everybody's
Yeah.
going to make crazy
It'll
money.
still be the number one, and
Right.
it's funny. Like the decrease in NFL is like what 8% when NHL is like 70%.
Right. I mean,
So it's just in sports in general. NFL is not going anywhere. It's just pretty interesting the way that the world is going.
Yeah.
I think a lot more of it has to do with the cutting of the cords. I mean, every TV had a football game on.
Yeah.
No matter what.
I mean, I believe-
now people have more options. Like, instead of putting it out, they would just put the football game on and do whatever else they were doing.
Yeah, I believe the cord cutting has had an effect on the ratings, but I don't know. I mean, I don't see this as a death of the sport kind of thing. I mean, this is where this Forbes article is going, is that, yes, there are decreases all across, from participation to viewership to attendance, and this is just football as a whole, not the NFL, not the NCAA. This is the football as a sport is dying a slow death.
Right.
I don't think that's true. I think it will always be around. Because here's my thing. Yeah, I'm careful about my kids getting involved in it now because their brains are still mush. I'm not putting kids in youth football to get hammered. Now, flag football, that's a great possibility. A couple of guys in the comments have mentioned soccer. Soccer's one of the fastest growing youth sport in America. Yeah, it's because it's physical activity. It gets the kids out there. It gets them exercising, and they don't get their brains squashed as much.
Yeah.
Do something.
I mean, there's still a chance. I mean, soccer can get rough. I get it. But you don't have two kids out there with helmets and pads on going just hit each other as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And that's how this stuff starts. I've got a nephew who's a senior in high school, getting ready to graduate in Chattanooga. He was on high alert this year about concussions because he's already had 4. He had 4 concussions playing middle linebacker and safety for his high school. And if he had one more, he'll never be able to play again. Because the school wouldn't let him. Mm-hmm. It's against the district rules now that if you have more than 4 concussions, you have to sit out an entire calendar year. So all season long, he's deathly afraid that he's going to get another concussion and they're going to tell him he just can't play football anymore. To me, I think that does worse things because I got a feeling that he's already had 2 this year.
Yeah.
And he didn't say anything because he loves the sport so much.
Yeah.
I get it. We want to protect these kids, and we want to protect their brain development. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm not putting my kids in football. Mm-hmm. I got friends that have 6-year-old kids that are in football, and good for you. I'm glad. Mm-hmm. But me, I'm not taking that choice. I'm not taking that, my kids aren't that fast. How about that? I'll be honest with you. The reason I haven't put them out there is because I know where they're going to play. They're going to play on the offensive or the defensive line. And every time the ball snaps, they're going to be banging heads with somebody. Now, I'm not going to stand in their way.
Yeah.
They're getting to the age now where I think, 10 years old, 11, 12. They say you shouldn't really let your kids play football until 13 because that's when their brain gets a little more solidified and a concussion won't have as much impact on them. But, there's only so long that you can keep your kid off the field.
Yeah.
If the kid has it in him and he loves the game and he wants to play, I'm going to support him all I can. Yeah. I'm going to teach him how to be safe doing it, and I damn sure know his coaches are these days.
Yeah.
But this is why parents are afraid to put their kids on the field. I mean, I can remember back when I was playing youth league football, we'd have kids that show up first day of practice, never seen a football before.
Yeah.
And those are the kids that usually got creamed.
Yeah.
For the first couple of weeks of practice till they got it figured out.
Yeah.
We don't do shit that way anymore. I mean, I would be surprised if at some of these practices, kids are barely hitting each other.
Yeah.
Because everybody's so afraid.
For sure.
Youth participation falling does not mean a whole lot to me. And I get that, my kid's young, he may not be able to play when he gets into high school, so we're going to play now. Okay, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Play while the competition's low. Because I'll be honest with you, I was one of those kids. When I got up into high school, I was done. Because everybody had shot up around me, and I immediately could not compete anymore. I was getting killed every time.
Yeah.
Because when I graduated high school, I was still 5'6". Still weighed 250 pounds, but I was 5'6".
That's sexy.
And there's no way that I could have gone up against, our starting center who was 6'4" and 300 pounds. Killed me every time.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
And those guys still, and that's the thing, those guys went through injuries and got their bells rung and had concussions and had to sit out. So, I mean, football is a sport to me that, certain kids are built for and some kids are not. And, and over time, parents are finding out my kid's built for football and my kid's not built for football. Mm-hmm. Here's the other thing, kids don't, a lot of kids don't even want to play it now because it hurts so much, because you have to go through so much pain and everything to make it happen. I don't know. The viewership dropping, I think there are many things that cause that. Youth membership or youth involvement is dropping. I think that's all health and safety related. But I think the game will always be around.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
a 5% drop in college football game attendance. Have you seen the prices on these games? I mean, that's where I immediately go to.
Yeah.
It's going to cost me $90 per person to go to a fucking Georgia Western Kentucky game because you can't get into any of those other games for less than $300.
Yeah.
Those SEC games, forget about it.
Yeah, and sit in the nosebleeds.
I can't afford that.
Yeah.
And so I'm not surprised that that football game attendance has gone down because the tickets have only gone up. And how many of us have seen, cost of living increases in our pay over the years?
Oh, yeah.
Not too many.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel like it's going anywhere.
Oh, it's not.
100%.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
interesting, though.
shit. Look at the time. Look at the time. Time flies when you're having fun.
That's right.
Here in the Sportsocracy, at the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. Be sure to like it, share it, and follow it this afternoon on ESPN Asheville. We will have the Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene, without Jeremy Greene. Caleb Peak will be filling in this afternoon for Jeremy. Coming up tomorrow, we'll have the News 13 crew and the sports crew. Chris Womack and Maria Santoro will join me for the Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene, 3 to 5 weekday afternoons on ESPN Asheville. Ron, you're going to be back with us
I'll be back tomorrow. Yes,
all
sir.
right,
Yeah.
so tune in right here in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We'll see you then.